What's up, guys? It's Aaron from Irene Iron Fitness, and today we are going to go over the Clam Quickset 5-sided screen tent. We're going to do an unbagging, show you what it is inside, also how it fits inside our van. We're going to do a quick setup of the whole tent and an initial overview of how we like it. Stick around. So this is the 5-sided Clam tent. It's the model 12875. They also make a 4-sided, 6-sided, and I think they have some larger screen tents that get pretty big. There's a few companies that also make these. The other one is called Gazelle. They have the G5, G6, and I think they make a 4-sided also. The reason we went with this one, we kind of think they're overall the same, but this one was a little bit cheaper. It was around $160. Some of the other ones were $180. We'll link all the different tents down below so you can see them. But the Clam is a company out of Osseo, Minnesota. We're very familiar with that. They make ice house, like a portable ice house, which I have personally been in negative temperature, and they make some really high quality stuff. They also do ice armor, fishing gear, and so we're very familiar with the company. I knew it would be pretty good quality. Right off the bat, when I took this out of the box, the tent bag material here is very thick. It's a waterproof material, and the bag is oversized compared to what's inside there, so you can probably fit some extra things in there. Some of the side panels that they sell separately could probably fit inside this, but I haven't opened this yet. I just took it out of the box earlier. It's been in the back of our van as we've been traveling, and we have not taken it out yet. We wanted to do an unboxing here today. So the material on here is very thick. Like I said, it's waterproof. The zipper on the outside is double-sided and very nice. So let's get this thing opened up and see what's inside. So that's what's in there right off the bat. We'll pull that out, and also inside the bag is a small second bag, and this has the stakes, I believe, to help stake this into the ground for high winds and extra security. It's got a couple fabric ties on here. Here's the installation package. They say this thing takes 45 seconds to set up. I have never set this up before, but I have watched a lot of YouTube videos on it. I also research all my stuff before I buy it. I want to know what I'm getting before I actually get it. I want to make sure before I spend $160 on something like this that it's a high quality product. You know, it's worth every dollar that we spend to get a good product and not just settle for something that's half-assed. So let's see if this one holds up to it. Another thing I saw about the Clam over the other ones was there's some extra stakes for the door pockets, and those are, I think, built into this, where the other ones were separate in the bag. So I think that's about it. From here, we're just gonna throw it on the ground and see if we can get this thing set up in 45 seconds or less. All right, let's see what we got here. These are the poles right here. So you're just supposed to walk around to each side and just give that a good yank. These ones have a nice big handle on them. Looks like they're pretty heavy duty. And then once you have all 5 sides out, you're supposed to go inside and push it up like that. So that's the setup. You can see I kind of struggled a little bit. Like I said, that was my very first time. I have watched some videos on it. Whew, but overall pretty simple. I think that was less than 45 seconds. We'll have to put a timer on it. But let's take a closer look at this and see what we think about it. Another thing that I saw that this clam, and only the dark brown clam, not the green one, not the light tan one, and none of the other ones have, was this roof flap. And it's really kind of cool. This is where those extra panels that you can get Velcro into this, so it's no longer a mesh, it's more like a tent. And this really just gives you that extra added protection from the rain. So the whole point of this flap was so that the panels go in and this goes over top of it to create more of a sheer. Otherwise the panel would go up to here and there'd be a little flap up there that would allow rain to come in. This screen mesh feels pretty good. It feels like a good high quality. It is very fine. They call it a no-seam mesh. I've heard that the wind flow is not very good in these tents, but that might be a trade-off, bugs or wind. You know, if it's really hot outside, I don't know how it's gonna work, but I mean, it seems like it's very open and ventilated. So Clam sells a 3-pack of these panels that go over here for about 50 bucks. And they Velcro in, like I said, this nice tent flap goes over top of it. And they actually have a cutout for a window that can roll up, so you can still have a window out so you can see, but what that does is turns your screen tent into a regular tent and will help protect you from the elements. I'll link those panels down below too, and we do plan on getting those. I think now that we have this set up, probably be nice to have those panels with us. Along with the side panels being sold separately, the floor is also sold separately. They do have an actual floor that you can buy, or you could just use a rug. So it's 9 feet across. A good 10 by 10 rug would probably cover the whole thing. It's pretty nice without it, I guess, on grass. We're on gravel right now. It's not that bad. It does feel like it's protected a little bit, but to have an actual homey, nice outdoor feeling, you'd want a floor panel on there too. So let's keep walking around outside. We kind of looked at these hubs already. Clam says that they have extra heavy duty hubs here, and they do seem really nice. Seems pretty durable. The flex is supposed to be very flexible, which is good for us because we're cramming it in the back of our van. There is no floor to the tent. They have little plastic D-rings up top here, and I suppose that would be to have a little anchor down to the ground to kind of keep the form. Looks like there's also a D-ring on the bottom there too, and also a nice eyelet on the bottom, so that's going to be your ground stake to hold this thing in, which is good. Keep walking around to this side here and see what else we got. Like I said, these flaps, the roof is water resistant. They don't say 100% waterproof, although they do hold up in the rain, I hear. But I just thought this was a great added extra bonus to have that flap in there. So if you're thinking about getting one of these, I think that's an important thing to look at. Like I said, the other 2 colors didn't have it from Clam, and also the other manufacturers don't have it. The roof, I think I read, was 82 inches. I'm 6'2", so you can see there's a good amount of space there. This is the 5-sided tent, like I said. We were really hoping that we could get the 5-sided and not the 4-sided. You could just imagine the 4-sided, the space is going to be a lot less. So we'll set up some chairs and some stuff in here so you can get a little bit better space of what it is. But we also wanted this to kind of be our outdoor workout room, which we're going to do a separate video on that. And here's those inside poles that I was talking about. As I was watching some of these reviews, these poles were separate on some of the other ones, the Gazelle. I still think the Gazelle is probably a really good product too. I just thought this was nice that they're built in. Otherwise, the Gazelle has separate poles. They just sit in the bag. I don't know if that's a huge deal or not, but these just give you added extra support for the door flaps here. And there's a little pocket down here that this just sticks into. So that gives it its tension. And there's little Velcro straps right here, like that, to hold the pole in. And there's one down here. So it looks like just the two. And we'll do it on this side real quick. Having it built in, I can just see that being a better option so you don't lose these things, forget about them. Should probably stick this in the bottom here first. Bend the pole just a little bit, not too hard to get it in there. So that gives the door frame its stability. And also once you stake it down, that's gonna give it more stability also. Let's look at this zipper real quick here. Looks like a double zipper, so there's kind of 4 zipper ties, but that pulls down like that. And I don't know, it feels pretty good in here. I think that's would feel like a good enclosure, you know, from the bugs and elements and things like that. I suppose the top zipper is like a quick access maybe. If somebody wanted to hand you something, I don't know. That's just a guess, but it's nice that they add something like that in there. So if you were, you know, you don't got to go all the way down to bend out. You could just pop out like that, hand somebody something, and come back. So that's kind of cool. Let's take a closer look at these here. I saw this outside, or when I was opening the bag, I mean, and I saw Velcro on there, and I just wasn't quite sure what that was. This is their hub system, they call it, and they said it's an extra heavy duty hub. I don't know if that's just kind of like branding. I don't know. Seems kind of weird. I'll have to do some research on what that is. But I saw it up here too, and I was kind of just curious. I couldn't tell what that was. Let's see, this side points down during setup, so that's something good to read, but it's kind of covered up like that. They put a little hang tie on there with a nice little eye-ring on there, metal eye-ring, so you could hang a lantern or, I don't know, something on there, fan, light. So let me grab a tape measure and let's do some measurements in here. Let's see what we got for the ceiling height here to the hub. And they were right, it is just under 82 inches, 81 or so inches. And from the back hub to the front door, just under 9 feet. I think I saw that it was 9 feet, so if this was pushed out a little bit more, you'd probably be looking at a straight 9 feet, which isn't too bad. From hub to hub on the sides, it's more like 5.5 feet. Let's check out what's in that little bag that they give you too. Hopefully it's something good. Feels like tent stakes. Looks like tent stakes. Your typical, well, they do have Clam label on them, but it looks like a typical plastic tent stake. They give you 2, 4, 5 of those for the 5 sides, I would imagine. And these little detent ropes, which are like the same as what you would see on a tent, those go in those little plastic D-rings, I believe, to tighten it out and make your tent all nice and taut. One other thing I wanted to mention was the ceiling is made out of like a white material, which kind of allows the sun to come through a little bit, which is kind of nice. And then the very top of it is like a dark material, and it looks like that's a patch sewn on there, so that would be like another protection from the rain right from the top, so that it would just kind of filter off the top of it. So let's talk about the purpose of this tent real quick. For us, the purpose was to have an outdoor space. So we're in that tiny van, and a lot of times we're stuck in there. If it's raining, if it's cold, if it's, you know, we're just in there all the time. So we want something to help us bring us outside. We also have a lot of workout equipment now that we're starting to have, with a stability ball and our equalizer bars and our weights that we want to be able to set up outside so we can go work out each morning nice and easily. For the size, portability, weight, and the ease of setting this thing up, it's pretty nice. I mean, to have like an actual screen tent, that's a big win. We're really hoping we could get this 5-sided tent and have space for it, because it's just so much more space. I think that 4-sided would have been a little small for us. So for sizing, we'll set up our little table and our chairs. This is just like an 18-inch by 19-inch kind of small foldable aluminum table that you see everywhere. And then these chairs we got are kind of cool. They're from Marchway. We got them off of Amazon. But as I was researching the best chairs to get, I really like these. They're really small, light, and compact. But as you see when we set them up, they actually have a high back, and they're not the ones that like sit you, 10 inches off the ground and you feel like you're in a little beach chair. But these are pretty cool. Come in their own little bag. So here is the structure for the chair support, which kind of is all one piece together, which is kind of cool. It's kind of magnetic, stretchy, and all set together as one. And then you got the longer sides there, so it kind of sits down like that. Actually, beep, like that. That looks a little more comfortable, doesn't it? And here is the seating area. So this kind of just slides onto the back with built-in, and this fabric is really heavy duty too. I really like this. And it had mesh on the inside for your back, so you don't sit there and sweat in the hot summer heat. So you throw the back on first like that. And they also have built-in little pockets for the front poles. And these are kind of tight. The first one goes on nice and easy. I say nice and easy, but easier, like that. And then this second one, you kind of gotta muscle it in there a little bit. But if you get the right angle, it's not too bad. But that's how that chair sets up. I'm 6'2", and you can kind of see it sits up nice and kind of normal. It's a little bit higher than, like I said, those small chairs. And you can kind of lean back in it a little bit. You know, it hugs your butt. It's pretty good. It's pretty comfy. So let's get the other one set up real quick. So like I said, this is 18 inches in the middle with kind of two loungy chairs. You could easily see you could fit another, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4 chairs. It'd be pretty easy to fit 6 people around here, play some board games. You wouldn't want too big of a table. Maybe, you know, 2-3 feet by 3 feet. You could do, you could get, you know, something oblong in here, but for the 2 of us, it's gonna be pretty slick. So this bag is about 63 inches long, and to get it back fitting inside this van, we have to kind of shove the one corner back in here and then squish it in there. So it is an extremely tight fit, and it's not really the best solution, but it is all we have. We did not want the 4-sided tent. We wanted to go with the 5-sided tent, of course. But I think that is about it for our quick review of this tent. I hope you liked it. If you do, check out the links below. That helps support our channel. We appreciate everything. It does not cost you guys any extra, but it does give us a small percentage back through Amazon. So thanks again for watching. Hit that subscribe button. We're coming at you every single week, and we'll see you next week.